Drew McIntyre. Now, we've talked about a little bit on this channel already, but there's a lot of rumors at the moment, of course, that his contract is expiring. We even joked around the other day about the possibility of him showing up for AEW, Wembley Stadium, but I think his contract actually goes beyond that anyway. But of course, just recently, he put his header and his profile picture is completely black and took out everything from his bio, which of course made everyone go, did you see he took out every WWE mention? It wasn't just WWE, folks. It was everything, except for his handle, of course, which has WWE in it. Anyway, what do you think's going on here, guys? First of all, are they playing up to it? Which is what I personally think. I actually think that they know what's going on out there, and I think someone higher up in creative probably just said you should do this, or maybe even suggested it because they know something's going on. They're going to try and build something out of it. Or do you think he legit is trying to send a message and he is kind of possibly on his way outside of the door? We'll swing back round to Rob on this first time as well. What do you think, mate?
I mean, potentially it could be a work, right? I mean, it's possible. It's now clear that his contract's up. They haven't come to an agreement.
It's up in
as
January,
far as we know.
by the way. January.
Okay.
January is when it expires.
Oh, January. Okay, cool.
All right. So at the moment, they haven't come to an agreement. They've still got, what, eight months?
Yeah.
That's still a long time for you to figure out a contract and stuff. I think I would like to know that I would like to think that they're playing on it because it'll be a big loss to lose Drew. However, the last two people that have blacked out their profile picture, their header, and took stuff out to do with WWE was, I believe it was Rollins and Liv Morgan, and then all of a sudden they heel turned. So,
okay.
Could this be a heel turn for McIntyre?
Okay. A little bit of continuity in a way that I didn't expect that could be going on. Okay, I like. Yeah,
I mean, I'm all for it. We spoke about it anyway.
Yeah, because it was kind of leaning that way anyway, into like the fact that he was kind of not caring about his friend's feelings in Sheamus, going for the IC title. So I won't be surprised. We've talked about it countless times on this channel, of course, how like it was incredible. Was amazing through the pandemic, and then he got a bit stale. And I think just in time for Clash, it worked out again. He's done incredible things lately with Sheamus and going a little bit further down the card, going for the IC title, but still in incredible matches and moments and storylines. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, I think something does need to change with Drew if he's going to go back into that main event level. So, hey, I'd be open to seeing a heel Drew McIntyre again. And like you said, Rob, I think letting go of him would be absolutely crazy, considering the talent, but also again, just like even like we talked for months, years now of like, that moment, he never got that moment. To not give him the moment in front of fans, but also not keep him in the contract, like think he wasn't worth enough keeping after what he did in that period would be absolutely wild. He was literally the face of the company and did a great job. Hey, we don't know the situation behind the scenes and what money terms and all this kind of stuff, but on the surface, as far as like Drew McIntyre goes, to me, it's like throw money at the man. But anyway, Dan, what are you thinking as far as, is this a work? Is this a heel turn? And what would it be like if he left WWE?
He's winning Money in the Bank.
Whoa! Okay. Whoa!
Simple. So
big play.
Yeah. So they're probably it's been widely known that basically Drew's had like the last sort of few months and that he's been dealing with like a lot of issues. Like he's been not well, and apparently he has a whole heap of respect backstage for the work ethic that he puts in. He's always turning up sick. He works sick. I think there was a PLE where he was literally like on his backside basically, and he was like, no, I'm still going to go out there, still going to give you like a banger of a match. So I think from a WWE point of view, they respect the hell out of Drew. I think they would be stupid not to do at Money in the Bank, have Sheamus beat Gunther for the IC title and Drew win Money in the Bank on the same night. Like that would just be like the cherry on the icing, especially the fact that they didn't give us Drew winning the title at Clash.
And Sheamus at Clash as well.
And Sheamus at Clash, So I think they have to, I think they would have to kind of make it right there. So yeah, I think they're going to see what they could even do is if they did go down the route of a heel Drew, they would have to do it after Money in the Bank, I feel. So I feel as though he'll be a babyface going into Money in the Bank, win the Money in the Bank, and then he could be like, then the next night on Raw could be, or when they're back in the States could be when he's like, oh, I've got this guarantees me a title shot. And then he'd be like all disgruntled, like, oh, maybe this time I'll actually get to do it in front of fans.
Yeah, like turn into like a bit of a whinger, like in character.
Like, oh, I'll get to do it in front of fans. Also, yeah, my contract's up. So maybe like I'll just cash this in, like do the Punk thing. Like maybe I'll cash this in, get the title, then leave when my contract expires, basically. And then
look, I never thought of that once, man. Like I've spoken quite a bit on a few podcasts already about Sheamus, but I've not once thought, the whole idea of a Brit and in Drew winning the Money in the Bank, that I think
backyard, doesn't it? Like they kept saying at Clash at the Castle.
Somewhat, but it'd be a great moment. Like I said, they didn't do it at Clash, and it felt like it was a timing thing, and I felt like a big missed opportunity at the time. This could somewhat kind of go there to make up for it, and I think you're right as well. If we do get a heel turn, it'd have to come after winning it. So I actually really like that idea of it becoming that. But if we go back into, sorry, go on, Rob.
If they done that, which I'm all for, by the way, I'm not. I mean, the only thing that I'd be against it is because I want LA Knight to win Money in the Bank. However, that aside, if they done that and they was able to work it around, and let's say, for example, it was the Monday Night Raw of his contract expiring on the final days, they could literally make him cash in on that Monday and leave. And he's like, my contract's up. I'm now a champion.
Or be out of contract, but on,
but
make it public.
Still have the money.
Still have the briefcase and cash it in at like Mania next year or something like that. That would be pretty cool. But then it'd be a massive pop, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be a heel turn or anything like that. So we've kind of explored the Money in the Bank stuff and the heel stuff a bit there, Dan. But what do you think as far as the possibility that it is all real and it is going quite sour between the two sides, and we could potentially see an exit from Drew McIntyre?
To be honest, I don't think it is. Like, I think it's, I just feel as though, you know what? They've had a lot on at the minute, obviously, with Vince leaving and, coming back all that malarkey that, Triple H has probably just not got around to
busy time. Yeah, they've had to re-sign Logan Paul and Photoshop a picture. They got to Photoshop another Drew one, and it's hard because he doesn't look that young anymore.
Exactly. Not the chosen one anymore. So, but no, I reckon that, they'll probably have, like, when they get time, him and Triple H will sit down, have a chat. They'll get a signature on the dotted line.
Yeah.
Drew will be, I can, in all honesty, see Drew like finishing up his career in WWE now.
It'll be a massive shame if not.
Yeah, I don't see him going anywhere else. I mean, especially the fact that he had been away from WWE previously, built up his name and his reputation all over again, and then came back. I feel as though that would kind of be a bit of like a wasted kind of
bit of a kick in the face. Because they told that story, and that story would almost, in hindsight, feel like it's not as important or as true because then they let him go again, sort of thing,
Yeah, and especially the fact, obviously, that he practically, from a male side, carried the company through the pandemic era as well. When there were no fans, I feel as though that will probably be a factor, in the discussions that he has. Like, look,
like a loyalty bonus, sort of.
Yeah, or like you gave me a title run when there were no fans there. It's like, it would be nice to actually have one in front of fans so that the fans can get to witness it.
I mean, that's a way that, going back to the heel thing, a way to turn heel is if Cody by then has won the title and Drew ruins Cody's dream by beating him a day after or the night he's won it or something like that, so that would be crazy. Like, talk about giving someone heel heat. I think that'd be a cool way to do it as well. Of course, Dan touched on there as well, the trials and tribulations and things like that of Drew McIntyre. And it'd be worth pointing out that we did thankfully get to interview the man. He's a great guy. And we did talk about the story behind the match. That should have been his breakout moment, I find. And I won't kind of spoil what that is, but if you've seen the interview already, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But basically, there was a moment in his original run that he just massively impressed a lot of people. There was a lot of buzz and it just didn't work out. And of course, after that, he went into 3MB, and as they say, the rest is history from there. But go check that out, guys, if you haven't already. We've got plenty of interviews on this channel as far as interviews with WWE superstars and things like that. We have plenty of special guests coming on, build-up shows, reviews, reactions, and predictions as well. So, please subscribe if you haven't already.
Then the next point, Drew McIntyre, obviously his contract coming up. I don't think this is anything more than him just waiting it out because he knows that the better offers are going to come close to the time. You know, I think he's had a bit of a weird year. You know, he had that weird feud with Karrion Kross. Obviously didn't win the WWE title, you know, at Clash. But he has been used. So it's a case of, I'd find it a bit odd if he was to think that the grass would be greener anywhere else, you know, going from on pay-per-views, getting WWE Championship shots, to doing God knows what at AEW. You also think these people aren't going to be main guys, you know, in AEW, so I don't understand why. But I think it is just because they know it's a good bartering tool.
Let's swing it back round to you, Dan. What do you think as far as Lucas's points there? And also the Drew one as well, of course, about AEW. Yeah, the argument is that he's big enough to be the headliner in AEW, but we've seen many times in the past, how many of those guys can you really put at the very top of your roster?
Yeah, I think where AEW is different is the fact that they've just got the one kind of main title that people can go after. I mean, obviously for a long time, WWE had Raw, SmackDown, so it was split into two shows. So you could literally have like top names on each show and both challenging for a kind of bona fide world championship. Especially when you had, like, say, the WWE title and the world heavyweight title. And yeah, it was kind of like, okay, so you think if they was to say do that in AEW, have two separate world titles, you'd have kind of like your Moxleys, your Jerichos on one, then you can have like your MJFs and your Drews, your Bryans, etc. on another. I think if that was the case, then I'd see more of an argument for it happening. But yeah, it's like I was saying earlier, that I don't think there's anything to it. I think, you know, Lucas's thing, what he was saying is kind of right about it's most likely Drew's just waiting out for the better offer. Like, obviously, like 99% of the UK at the moment, trying to go on strike to get better wages. So
power to the people. Go on, Drew.
Exactly.
Go on, lad. Don't mind it. What about you, Rob, mate? Any thoughts on
He'll just get Mick Lynching round the table, wouldn't he?
Mate, Mick Lynch is a good promo. I'd love to see him in the WWE. So
have him manage his daughter Becky.
Hey, come on. Right. Go on, Rob. What do you think as far as Lucas's comments there?
No, it is making good points. I mean, to be fair, he kind of said the same sort of stuff that we've said. You know, like we have a group chat. It's stuff that's been said in the group chat and passed around, and the discussion about, you know, like certain, like LA Knight's age and the way the thing going on with Drew and stuff, and the AEW stuff. So it's stuff that we've all been saying, and it's kind of there isn't a case of no, well, we all disagree. There's so many strong points from everyone that's been speaking of recent over the last couple of weeks, and they all make sense. You know, like, is the grass greener for Drew? Maybe. Is it not? Do you know what I mean? Like, the problem is when you go to a new company. I think let's look at Drew. If you go to a new company, you're going in as the new guy, even though you've established you're bigger over the top and you're established. You know, everyone knows you are. You're a draw.
They can't make
still
you
the
champ
new
straight
guy.
away.
Like, you can't be champ. Everyone else. You have exactly. You know. So what do? You start in the middle, and now let's just say you start in the middle. Well, where's Miro? Because he was supposed to be a future guy, and where's he? Do you know what I mean? So, like,
I guess it's
not always like.
It's a good place to flex. It's a good opportunity to flex your creative kind of wings, really, and you know, match up with new guys and stuff like that. So I still see the appeal in going to AEW if things aren't going well for you in WWE, but there is still that risk as well. We've talked about plenty of times, of course, about this massive roster. Quickly going to get some comments here before we wrap up as well.